Hey there, what's up, YouTube? First and foremost, I want to say peace and blessings to each and everybody that's watching. Um, and also, I want to say that I appreciate y'all for watching and that I thank y'all for having me. You know, just to put it out there, first and foremost. Secondly, I want to be diving into some different things this time. I want to take a step back and go down a different avenue, if you will, but keep it along the lines of the content that's been flowing out. Keep it around the origins of the content that's been being displayed, things of that nature. So today, I want to talk with y'all about giving something for nothing. Give something for nothing is the concept. I really want to say concept of today. That's today's concept. Give something for nothing. Now, if I may, I want to speak to y'all a little bit and elaborate to y'all a little bit on what brought me to this concept in the first place. Often the times, I be realizing and noticing that people really don't like helping people. People really don't like helping other people. And, I don't think that can be stressed enough because I believe it's to look at it, depending on what kind of perspective you look at it from, it may just sound like something regular to you. Like, okay, that's just life and how life go and the way things end. But with me, um, my object of doing what I'm doing right now and bringing to y'all and raising awareness is I be wanting to go back to the origins and dive in to those very fundamentals that create these nasty mentalities that we walk around with and carry. So when I speak about things like us being there for one another and stuff like that, it's to go into deeper detail to dig and dive into why we don't do it. It's more so to raise questions, you know, and furthermore, um, I just want to go straight into it. I feel like I was inspired by this concept because, once again, I see people often at times, they really don't care to help out the next person unless there's something beneficial. Now, once I sat back and I analyzed this, and this is just my own analytics and stuff like that. This is just me and my perspective and my perception, you know. But once I sat back and I analyzed that concept that I just brought to your attention, doing something for nothing, I realized that in every situation or in majority of situations where help was being given from one person to another, there was always something to benefit at the end of the line. You know, whenever help was being given from one person to another, there was always something to benefit at the end of the line. So I was just sitting back, y'all, and I was reflecting on this. And I was saying, damn, maybe that's the reason why it's hard to influence, promote, accept, embrace, and to put out genuine energy to a point to where this is probably even the reason why a lot of people don't even be wanting help because they so used to feeling like somebody wants something back in return. You know how many people I done ran across in my lifetime where I was just being like completely sincere and I just wanted to help. I didn't even want nothing in return. Nothing. And I'm sure there's so many other people out there like that. You know, didn't want nothing in return. And because the way things are and things of that nature, you know, people don't even be wanting to help. And I believe that this is the reason why. Because things are not often done out of sincerity. They're often done out of um, what you can do for me or what can be benefited from the situation. It's like people are so hell bent on just being opportunists, just so hell bent on being opportunists, and you know, and there's nothing wrong with being an opportunist, but it has its times and it has its moments. You know, um, we got to remember, like even everything within our bodies must have a balance. You know, um, one one area can't be too high, and at the same token, on the same time, it can't be too low. You know, so I'm saying that to say this: just as well as a person um come off as being an opportunist and things of that nature, it's good to come down sometimes and be a little lenient and step outside of your business mind for a second and just give some true, genuine help and support. You know, but when I was coming up with this, or more so when I was breaking down this concept and stuff like that and just analyzing it and taking it into consideration, these are the things that I was really coming up with. I'm like damn, like people really don't do things out of sincerity. It literally be a situation as to where it's like there's usually, and I'm not saying 100% of the time, but I want to say at least like 65 to 75% of the time. And a lot of y'all out there that's listening, y'all probably like, oh, you being lenient. But, you know, I want to say like between 65 to 75% of the time, you know, it seemed like things is not done out of sincerity. It's done out of, you know, something for something rather than nothing for something. You know, and I feel like there's as long as we do that, it's gonna stir more and more people away from actually embracing and accepting help that they may need. Um, Also, I feel like it's gonna keep us behind and in the past rather than catching up and getting ahead. And just like it's just ridiculous. But you know, I want to mention another thing given this concept. Another thing that when I was analyzing it that I came up with this concept that, you know, it inspired more thought. You know, I was reading or I was listening to the audio of the Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu. And there's a parable in there that says, you know, it speaks on water and stuff like that. And it talks about how, you know, um, water runs through the earth and through the universe as far as through the rivers and stuff like that. It runs through the earth and through the universe all day in America. It takes care of plants. It allows animals to drink, you know, so that they don't have no more thirst. It allow us human beings to drink, you know. It helps give life and, you know, things like that to plants and stuff like that so that we can have crops and stuff like that. Like if you remember back in the Bible, you know, back in Pharaoh's time, well, in the older Pharaoh time, um back in the Old Testament, you know, they was waiting for it to rain. You know what I'm saying? So that the crops will grow. 7 days. Excuse me, not 7 days, but 7 years. it was prophesied that it would rain for 7 years, and um then that it would basically be no food throughout the land for the next 7 years. So that water help us get food. You know what I'm saying? With those same crops and stuff like that. Now my point is, what Lao Tzu was stressing in the Tao Te Ching is, when that water get ready to flow through and feed everybody and make sure everybody is good and straight, it keeps on going about its business. It don't stop and look back and wait for acknowledgement or wait for a round of applause or wait to be, you know what I'm saying, patted on the back or anything like that, or more so praised. It don't do that at all. It just keeps on going. It literally just keeps on going, you know. And furthermore, ultimately, that's the kind of mindset that I myself want to have and want to ultimately get to and work toward getting to more so. You know, the kind of attitude to where, where I can say, I'm doing this without really um looking for no expectations or gains. You know what I'm saying? Because all the time it's not all about gaining financially. You know what I'm saying? You can be gaining financially and losing in another area or in another aspect that's actually hurting you or whatever it is that you gain it from or think you gain it from. So, but, ultimately, that's the kind of mindset that I aspire to get to, and that I want to inspire others that's listening or that care and that's concerned and stuff like that, to try to do the same, you know, promote promote that kind of concept and attitude and energy to where, it's okay to do something for nothing. To where it's literally okay to do something for nothing. And to stress it just a tad bit more, I feel like when you doing something for nothing versus doing something for something, it it makes it all the more genuine. Because when you doing something because it's beneficial and only because it's beneficial, it seems like you perform a different way and you put a different kind of energy into it. You know, energy that's coming from um a mindset that's based on capital and gain versus a heart that's based on love and happiness and fulfillment, you know. So I think we need to stop and just think about that for a second. And like I said, that's something that I myself even trying to aspire to get to, or not even trying, aspiring to get to. So, um, I'm just encouraging, my audience and stuff like that to try to try to think on that kind of plateau, you know, because we need to be like developing ourselves mentally also, like especially in aspects to where we can be virtuous and things like that. We got to get that together, man. We got to get that straight, you know, and there's no better way than to give something for nothing. Give something for nothing, man. Try it out. Try to give something for nothing, you know? And stop embracing these attitudes and these mindsets of, or I'm not even going to say stop embracing. Please, if you will, if you haven't already noticed what I'm sitting here saying to you, just sit back sometimes and analyze what I'm sitting here and saying for yourself. Like, just as well as y'all listening to me right now as I'm talking about it, put it on a scale, test it, and see if it's true or if it has some truth to it. The next time somebody get ready to do something for you, or the next time people get ready to do things for you, put it on a scale and ask yourself, um, is it sincere as far as um not needing any benefits, or is it a situation to where if it's only beneficial, it won't get done? Put it on a scale. I'm really asking y'all that. And furthermore, um, I don't want y'all to get the wrong impression of what I'm saying. It's not really a situation to where I'm like condemning people and saying, to a certain extent, that's messed up that a person gotta have something every time they extend their hand to help somebody. That's not really what I'm getting at. That's not really what I'm getting at all. I'm not really trying to condemn nobody and be like, you shouldn't mess with that person because they only want something from you. And that's not really what I'm stressing. What I'm stressing is just taking in consideration and um so that you can reflect on why it is that people don't even embrace help and accept things because they like, damn, like every time something is getting done, it gotta be beneficial. And if it's not being beneficial, then it won't get done. Like that concept and that attitude, like, gotta change and it got to go. So I'm encouraging y'all and I'm encouraging us to give something for nothing. And I let y'all um, be our own philosophers and things like that. I think that's always great also. And, it's like a lot of times, honestly, family, I kind of get um, a little overboard with things as far as I be feeling like, damn, is my audience really feeling me? Is they really understanding where I'm coming from? And is they really understanding what I'm saying? And I try to remind myself that, sometimes you don't gotta overtalk your crowd, you don't gotta overtalk your audience, your viewers, and things like that. And what reminds me of that is, like, for instance, I feel like you can get 10 people. This is always an example I use. You can gather 10 people and have them read a scripture, or have them, I'd rather say a scripture, something that need thought put into it and stuff like that. Have them read a scripture and things like that, and listen to each and every one of them individually, their response on what it is or what it was that they read from that scripture. Have them read the same scripture. My point is, 9 times out of 10, each and every one of them is going to come up with a different perspective of what they gained from out of the scripture that they read. Even though it's the same scripture, they all going to have a different narrative on how they interpret it. So my point to y'all is, what I'm saying is, take it for what it is. I trust that if what I'm saying is for you, then you'll get it and it'll apply to you however it's supposed to apply to you. And I don't expect it to apply to everybody the same way, you know. But just think about that though. Give something for nothing. And, you know, once again, man, I appreciate y'all, man. Um, Nothing but peace, love, and blessings to y'all, man. Until next time, man. It's John L, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and, share if you will. Peace and blessings.